Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video. It's time to take the EZA LR Super Saiyan Trunks into the Vegeta event versus his papa. He's taking on his daddy today. But for me, for daddy, that sounds so weird, but for daddy, can you do me a huge favor? Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're new. All the support is of course very much appreciated. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know. I'm not gonna lie, I'm still incredibly skeptical about this Trunks. As I said, he's not a bad unit. He's quite good. He's quite good. In an environment, in a longer event environment, I'm not sure how he's gonna be able to handle himself though. He does on super attack, of course, raise his defense by 30% for 6 turns, which is definitely gonna be useful. You know, having that, defensive increase for 6 turns, considering this is a longer event, and then super attacking again, he's going to put it back up, which is definitely going to be handy. But in terms of a longer event where Vegeta's only going to get tougher and tougher and tougher until the very point when he's going to be lowering defense in his SSBE phase, I'm not going to lie, I'm slightly worried about how Trunks is going to be able to handle himself here. So I think maybe I'm kind of overreacting with him. Maybe he'll be okay. He'll probably be okay. In terms of taking him into GT Goku event though, I don't know about that. I mean, he still might be able to handle himself there. But I think in the GT Goku event, you're probably going to have to be more careful with using items around him to make sure he actually survives. But it's going to be one of those scenarios. Of course, we've got him on a Super Saiyan team, which is like whenever there's a Super Saiyan unit, I always put them here. I mean, I can't not. I mean, he does have 141k defense, and again, every time he super attacks, he's going to be raising his defense by 30% for 6 turns. So, actually, maybe I'm kind of overreacting. Maybe his defense is going to be just enough for him to be able to be capable here. Maybe I'm kind of overreacting a little bit. Maybe he will still be fine here. He will still be capable. Because 141k defense after 1 super attack isn't too bad. That's actually quite alright. You know. So maybe he'll be okay. And so far we are managing to get super attacks off. Again, just like I was saying in the ESBR video. When it comes to getting his 18 key off, getting it off consistently without, forcing or kind of adjusting the team for him to put him next to someone who links perfectly. How much damage are we talking here? 9. Oh, see, this is what I mean. He's taken literally almost 100k damage on literally only the second phase. And he super attacked again before getting super attacked himself. So not only did he have the 30% increase on his defense, taking him to 140k defense. And then he super attacked again before getting super attacked. And even then, he still took just shy of 100k damage already. See, I don't know. I think I do definitely think maybe my worries were kind of coming to tuition here. Like they're showing you why I'm worried, So yeah, I think here with it being a longer event, you're gonna have to be slightly careful with him. I mean, if you were to take him, obviously in these videos, I take him on main rotation to show you what they can actually do at all times and how they handle themselves. But maybe if you were to bring him, maybe you'll take him as a slot 3 unit. He is getting defense plus 100% at the start of turn. As I said, we've already seen that in an amount after super attacking. 141k defense. He does have 173k defense now. Again, this isn't a 6 turn, kind of limit, kind of cap off. So his defense will keep getting better and better, which is good. But it's not making the same type of leaps and bounds. It's not making the same jumps that, for example, the EZA SSJ Tech Trunks next to him is doing. It's not, his defense isn't going up enough. And only having 100% defense at the start of turn, again, it's not giving him the biggest boost of defense before even supering. So, here, this probably won't do that much. 51k. So, while his defense is going up, which is definitely useful, I mean, he's gonna need it. Of basics, he's going to take no damage. No damage at all, which is fine, and I kind of expect that. But his defense isn't making those big enough leaps where I can comfortably say if he gets super attacked, then he's fine. He definitely won't get you killed. He definitely... Actually, no. in the earlier phases, he's definitely not going to die. He's not going to get you killed. Maybe unlike maybe blue phase and onward, maybe he has the potential to get you killed, but that probably depends on what your total team health is. But I mean, even though we're not even in the GT Goku event yet, we haven't even finished using him here. But I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how well he would do in the GT Goku event, especially with type disadvantage against the Great Ape phase. And like, if he got super attacked, even if he raises defense like fully within those 6 turns, I still like he would probably get you one shot. But to be fair, a lot of units in the game would get you one shot. And against against full power stage 4 Goku, I think he'll probably get you killed. I'm not gonna lie. I think he would probably get you killed there. This is what I mean. As I said, his EZA is not bad. His EZA is not like terrible. It's not bad. It's just not as good as I think it should be. Like, I don't even know. I think maybe calling him mid would probably be quite harsh. But like, how good personally, like, let me know in the comments, how good personally would you say is this EZA? How good would you say the LR EZA Trunks is? See, I don't know. I feel kind of harsh saying that he's mid. I don't think he's mid. Maybe he's decent, but he's not great. He's not amazing. I think maybe calling him mid is a little bit too harsh. Because when we took him into ESBR, he done well there. Again, there was the slight consistency problem of getting his 18 key off. The only way you're going to ever get all of his key links off, like Prepared for Battle, Royal Lineage, Shocking Speed, Shattering the Limit, the only way you're ever going to give him enough key is with 2 scenarios. One, you're facing a Wicked Bloodline enemy, which is very limited, you know, when it comes to, you know, doing like the harder events in the game, like ESBR. You're probably either going to get maybe one phase of Wicked Bloodline enemies, or have to have a specific category where you're non-stop facing Wicked Bloodline enemies. So there's that. Was kind of hoping when I saved the Dokkan attack for next turn, but what can you do? It would have been nice to watch LR Trunks hit a Dokkan attack on a type effective, like while having type effectiveness against God Vegeta, but what can you do? I mean, at least we're going to get some health back, but would have been nice to save it for the next phase. But yeah, that's very limited, of course, because that's where he gets key +5 built into his passive. In terms of giving him key purely through links, it's not that easy unless you're taking a unit that purely, you know, you're bringing just to get his links off, or specifically his key links, which again is Royal Lineage, Prepared to Battle, Shattering the Limit, Shocking Speed, which, I mean, they're not bad key links, but when trying to get the majority of them off so you can consistently get his 18 key off, in an event like this, while taking in a unit that can handle themselves in this event, or like the harder events of the game, it's not something that's actually that easy to do without kind of accommodating for him. A lot of the time, you're probably not even going to be getting his 18 key off. So, you know, and the main units that actually link that well with him are units that have the same name immediately. So obviously you can't link them together. Like his best linking partners, I'm pretty sure, are himself. Like if I quickly go check, like who I'm pretty sure his best linking partner is literally the EZA Prime Battle LR Trunks. Which of course, I mean, I can't even EZA him right now because I don't have the strength orbs to Rainbow out the 13 to do so. Yeah, one of his best linking partners is literally Prime Battle LR Trunks, and guess what? Actually no, you should be able to link them together. That is actually, I think, incorrect of me. I'm pretty sure you can link them together, because they have different names. One Super Saiyan Trunks Teen, which is the Fizz LR, and then the other one Super Saiyan Trunks Future. So no, you can actually link them together, but that's probably one of the only units you can link them with. How many key links do they share? They share 2, Royal Lineage and Shattering the Limit, which altogether gives them key +3. How many key links does he share with this Trunks? Royal Lineage, Super Saiyan Prepared for Battle. So he actually, do you know what? He actually shares the same amount of key links. He shares the same amount of key links. Prepared for Battle gives key +2, and Royal Lineage, yeah, he saves the same amount of key links. But in terms of getting majority of his links off to help him out, especially with like the extra attack, etc. You know, from Super Saiyan, get the extra defense from Cold Judgment, and then Legendary Power, getting the extra 10% when performing a super attack. In terms of getting that, I mean, yes, the Prime Battle LR Trunks will obviously be a better option. What's his defense saying? 154k? I'm not gonna lie, we're gonna use an Icarus just in case. Because knowing my luck, that Tech Trunks at the end will get super attacked. So yeah, the best way to literally give this Trunks key without kind of like putting him in his best environment, which is against a Wicked Bloodline enemy, would literally be having him linked with 2 units on either side in a rotation that get off his key links, like Royal Lineage, also, you know, Prepared for Battle, and potentially Shock in speed. That's probably the only way you're going to consistently get his 18 key off, unless you're facing a Wicked Bloodline enemy. Which obviously, again, that's, you know, the only way you're going to consistently get his 18 key off is, as I said, is if you're accommodating for him, which in harder events you don't have a lot of leeway to do. So there is that. Having an LR where you kind of struggle to get his 18 key off, like, it's not a great thing. It's not a great thing because you're losing out on a lot of damage where his defense isn't the most amazing on top of that. So if you're missing the damage while having the not best of defense, there's no kind of even trade-off. Like, kind of like with EZA Tech Trunks in you know, in Super Battle Road versus in a longer event. In a longer event, when he's facing one enemy, well, that's typically where you'll be facing one enemy. Of course, he has 80% attack and defense. When you're in Super Battle Road, where you're typically facing 2 or more enemies, he loses the attack buff, but has the 80% added onto his defense and has defense plus 160. But there's a trade-off. You know, there's a worthwhile trade-off. And even then, the attack he's lost, he's still boosting his attack, of course, you know, when supering, and he actually still does a decent amount of damage. But there's an ease and trade-off, as I said, where this Trunks doesn't really have one. You know, the only time he gets additional attack is, again, when... Actually, no, it's not even additional attack. Actually, no, it is. I was going to say it's Wicked Bloodline enemy. No, he gets the additional key plus 5 and the critical hit versus a Wicked Bloodline enemy, which, again, very restrictive, very specific. It's not often you're going to be getting that key plus 5, which he actually, currently from what I'm seeing, really does need to be... I didn't super attack, that's my bad. Which, yeah, he actually really does need, you know, because, again, that trade-off of losing out and doing his 18 key and not having the best defense is kind of like, well, what are you mainly good at here? Like, his damage output is still decent, but, again, his defense itself isn't amazing. So yeah, that key plus 5 would actually be very useful right now. And again, you lose out on the chance to actually guarantee, not even chance, you lose out on guaranteeing a crit, which, I mean, we've seen with the likes of Dokkan Fest Super Vegeta, having a built-in crit on all your attacks is amazing. And the damage output is sensational. So obviously that's kind of the trade-off, is the fact he will have a built-in crit. Of course, the built-in crit is only going to be coming off when you're specifically facing a Wicked Bloodline enemy, which is a very small percentage of the entire game when you're facing a Wicked Bloodline enemy. Until, which again they probably will do, until you're facing Frieza in a Fighting for Legend Frieza event, which probably will happen at some point in the game's lifespan. But that's until that potentially happens. So, you know, until then, you're missing quite a decent portion and useful portion of Trunks' passive, which is kind of really letting him down. Because it means he's losing that guaranteed crit, which means, you know, you lose out on quite a bit of damage, you're losing out on valuable extra key to consistently get his 18 key off. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know for this unit, you know. As I said, I don't want to call him mid because I kind of feel like that's a bit harsh. But he's not great in my opinion. He's not great. Like, for example, I can say this as a Vegeta fanboy, right? As Vegeta being one of my favorite characters, and LRMV having a soft spot in my heart as like one of the first LRs I pulled, one of the most amazing moments. And I can't wait for the Saiyan Day MV. The animations are going to be so sick. But like the EZA LRMV, his EZA kind of reminds me of this one, where it's decent. There's a lot of restrictions of where to get his passive off. Of course, one of the easiest ones to get off is the one with Goku, which is kind of the least important one to get the extra bonuses in his passive. You know, the damage reduction from Trunks will be quite handy, which, to be fair, that's not too difficult to get off. But in terms of like sharing the same categories is where that kind of becomes a pain. Actually, no, that's not with Trunks. I think he gets extra attack or attack and defense with Trunks. Can't remember off the top of my head. But the damage reduction would be quite nice. You know, 20% damage reduction on someone that doesn't have amazing defense won't do a lot. It will help out a tiny bit. There's no good Bulmas in the game to link him with. The only way you could do it is if the Rage Vegeta picked up an EZA, which you would have to wait for. So it kind of reminds me of that Vegeta, but the trade-off with that Vegeta is, with him not having great defense and having his passive kind of being quite restrictive for the most part, is the fact that, you know, you're not losing out on a bunch of ki. Yes, he does have something in his passive where I think it's when you're below a certain amount of health, he pretty much gets, what, 12 ki, and you're pretty much guaranteed to get his 18 ki off. But on both of his super attacks, like on the 12 ki, he's dealing like over 4 million damage on his 12 ki, whereas Trunks is dealing about 4 million damage on his 18 ki. And then not only that, if you do get Vegeta's 18 ki off, he can AoE everyone and also still has the chance to stun, just like on his 12 ki. So at all times, Margin Vegeta is putting out big numbers, while if you're in a Super Battle Road environment, being able to stun. And then of course, if you're getting the 18 ki off, he can hit an AoE. So not only are you hitting an AoE which has ridiculous damage, but can then potentially stun a numerous amount of enemies. Whereas that's kind of the trade-off for having not great defense, if you will. Whereas Trunks, his defense is okay again for super attacking, getting the 30% for 6 turns. But then it's not enough when you're like in a longer event like Vegeta event. I mean, we saw it already. Like, I know his defense wasn't really built up at all, but you know, in the second phase, he took literally just shy of 100k damage immediately. And of course, him tanking on basics for like double digits, I kind of expect, if I'm being honest. So yeah, I definitely don't want to say the EZA's mid. Like his EZA, it's decent, it's quite good, but I think that's as far as I can put it. Like, because of the conditions, if you will, in his passive, when you're doing Goku Vegeta event, when you're taking him on SBR and ESBR runs where you're not facing extreme class enemies, or some of the phases don't include extreme class enemies, and you're not facing wicked bloodline enemies, the only part of his passive he's getting off is attack plus 150, defense plus 150%. No, sorry, I wish it was 150% as well. Attack plus 150 and defense plus 100%. And that is it. Oh, and high chance of performing a crit. That is literally the only part of his passive you're getting off. Literally, that's all. That's the only part of his passive we're literally getting off currently in the Vegeta event. Because we're not facing an extreme class enemy, and obviously we're not facing a wicked bloodline enemy. So it really hurts him. It's actually a real detriment to him. And I'm not gonna lie, 206k defense, that's quite good. But if you think about it, again, he gets 30% defense every time he super attacks for 6 turns. And because it was a longer event, obviously that's going to keep kind of resetting, and we super attack again, and then we go for 6 turns, and then we do it again. That's him probably at his highest amount of defense. That's after 6 turns. He has 200k defense. This Trunks has a turn restriction. He already has more defense than the other one. And this is not even in the ideal event where he actually gets the 160 defense. This is where he has his defense flat in his passive, which is 80%. And gets an additional attack and defense when facing one enemy. And I know this Trunks gets more defense on super attack, but it's just like, I don't know, it's just, I'm definitely using that just to be safe. I mean, for once we're actually getting his 18 ki off, which is quite nice. But yeah, I mean, it's like, I generally prefer, well, not generally, I genuinely prefer, no word of a lie, no cap. Kind of glad I used the Icarus considering Vegeta lowered his defense there. No cap. I genuinely you really have to dodge with the type of eyes. Yeah, we'll follow up the additional. Don't dodge this as well. Don't be a bitch. Thank you. I genuinely prefer that EZA Tech SSJ Trunks over the LR Trunks. I'm not going to lie. I genuinely prefer the Tech EZA Trunks over the LR Super Saiyan Trunks. I've got to be honest. He's so much more useful. Like, 800k damage on the final phase. Like, again, like, what's the trade-off? Your defense isn't that great. Like, at least you should be dealing super, like, with an 18 ki, dealing ridiculous amounts of damage, right? No. And obviously, yes, we don't have, like, the majority of his links active. It's, like, 3 links active with that Trunks. But, like, the only way you're going to get the majority of those links active is if you accommodate for him And then if you do that, you're potentially taking a unit that won't be great in, for example, a longer event like Vegeta or Goku event. And the same can be said if you were to do it for Super Battle Road as well, just to make the Trunks perform better, which you shouldn't have to do for a good unit or a good EZA. And to be fair, it just sounds like I'm bashing him non-stop. It's just, I just thought he would be better. You know, when you're EZAing LRs, you know, especially the older ones, I kind of, you know, I want them to be really good. Especially with, again, and I've said this before, especially with, you know, LR, you know, Rose and Zamasu being the last one to EZA out of the original 5. The original 5? MV, Gohan, Trunks, Broly, yeah, Goku, Black, and Zamasu, or Rose and Zamasu. Their kind of foundations in their passive, if you will, are already pretty good. Like, they were already pretty good upon release back in the day, right? So their foundations on their passive for an EZA are good. So when they get an EZA, they should be ridiculous. But then I see units like Trunks and obviously definitely Gohan, who just isn't good. I see units like that, and I'm purely doing this for the extra defense, by the way. At least he has 260k defense right now, and is going to have more after he super attacks. At least that. So his defense is actually really good right now, like pretty good. But yeah, when you look at the likes of LR Int Gohan's EZA, who's just not great, like, it's decent, it makes him usable, but it's going to age very quickly, and then he's just going to become irrelevant again. And I think maybe over time, this Trunks will also, again, may become irrelevant. Not as bad as Gohan, but it probably will happen. So, I mean, you know, and as I said, like, with the Rose and Zamasu having such good foundations for an EZA that could indicate they're going to be really good, which they do, and I really do hope they are really good. It kind of worries me, because if you have Gohan, who's just not it, you have Trunks, who, to some people, probably borderline mid. And then you have Broly, who's just kind of an anomaly. Like, he is ridiculously good. And then you have MV, who's quite decent, very restricted, but at least he, you know, you have the trade-off of his damage is ridiculous, and in Super Battle Road, he has some major uses with ridiculous damage on an AoE and can stun. Like, I never would take him in an event like this, in a longer event. So I don't know, it kind of worries me of how they're going to do Rose and Zamasu, because if it's to go off of, you know, how they've done Trunks, how they've done Gohan, and maybe even a bit of MV, then maybe they will be quite lackluster to me as well, which I really hope not, because again, as I said, they have so much potential to be such an amazing EZA. But one thing's for certain, as I said before, with the EZA, LR Trunks is now usable in 2022, which is obviously a good thing. Gives you more options for team building, you know, especially with how your box is looking. Maybe you've not been lucky on certain categories to pull newer units that are, you know, more useful and good for these type of events. But as you can see here, we've actually beaten the Vegeta event with him on the team. He is definitely viable here. He can definitely be used. You probably want to, again, just like Super Battle Road or ESBR specifically, be using your items with him, especially against Vegeta's SSB phase at the end where he's going to lower defense. I don't know. I don't know if he'll be able to hand himself in GT Goku event. I'm not going to lie, because the amount of damage he could possibly take against full power Shape 4 Goku is probably ridiculous amounts. And especially against the Great Ape phase with type of disadvantage and how much damage that phase can do is quite worrying. So I don't think he'll be able to handle GT Goku. Once he's fully, you know, built up for 6 tons with 200k defense, that's pretty good. But before that, he's going to be open to quite a bit of damage. And even then, you've lost a lot of his passive because you're not facing an extreme class enemy and you're not facing a wicked bloodline enemy, which means he's only getting attack plus 150 and defense plus 100%. And of course, the high chance to crit. So, I don't know. And again, he's not consistently getting his 18 key off. I mean, he's still viable. I mean, as I said, from this video, we can tell he is viable to be able to use so far in ESBR and Vegeta event. I don't know. His EZA isn't as good as I wish it was. And as I said, it's not amazing. It's definitely not bad. It's just kind of, I don't want to say mid. Again, I'll be interested to hear your comments on what you think of this EZA LR Trunks. Let me know down in the comments. I'll see you next video, guys, and peace.